Fendel, are you ready? Yeah? Fair enough. Excellent. Kith, are you ready? Excellent. Morgana, are you ready? Excellent. Rourke, are you ready? Excellent. Wappa, are you ready? Excellent. And Dream, are you ready? Excellent. In that case, let us begin. I almost said where last we left off, but we didn't leave off anywhere with this one. How do I normally start a campaign? It's been a while since I actually started a new campaign. Wow. Okay. Yes, that's what I was about to do. Alright, so, welcome all of you then to the Oaths of Villion. Villion is an old kingdom, about 600 years old. When it was originally founded, it was ruled by a noble house of Dragonborn, the House of Naseth. 20 years ago, the house was overthrown, and a new king was put on the throne, a satyr by the name of King Takailon. Since then, things have been tense in the kingdom, with all the various paladin orders who make up the main leadership of the kingdom, all having differing opinions on the new king and on the new state of the world. As such, to say that the kingdom has been at peace would be a generous description. There's been a lot of tensions, threats of further uprisings, smaller conflicts that have spread throughout the land, peasant uprisings, things of that nature. The kingdom is not at peace. It is tense, and with the king growing older and older by the day and seemingly at Dora's death, the threat of rebellion is all the higher, especially with his son being unpopular among the nobility, his son and heir. Yes. Amidst all this turmoil, there have been rumors of the undead being spotted in the southern forests. And so, while at first the monarchy seemed unbothered or reluctant to look into these rumors, preferring to try to keep things quiet, these rumors have grown to such a scale that it is now impossible to ignore them any further, and the people are demanding that the king do something about the supposed undead. And so, King Takailon has decided he will take action. He has convened a council of the 35 Grand Masters, the leaders of each of the great holy orders of Villion, and he has told them that at this council he will choose a few of these orders to participate in a quest. Each of the holy orders will send one champion to go to the southern forests and investigate the rumors of the undead to determine if they are true, and if they are true, to then determine whether they can deal with this threat, if they can find the source of it and deal with it themselves, or if large-scale military action is needed from the monarchy. Which is where we now open. In the grand capital city of Okrazuna, once founded by the old Dragon Kings 600 years ago, now the contested seat of power of the satyrs, the 35 have assembled in the palace. All of you are the chosen representatives of the chosen champions of your particular order. If your order is selected to go on the quest, you will each then be the ones who go forth to the southern forests to find the source of the undead. And so we open the campaign in the grand hall of the palace. It is a massive throne room, befitting the status of the old dragon kings. Massive columns hold up the grand vaulted ceilings. At the far end of the room, there is a giant stained glass window of the first king. The king himself is seated upon a throne that looks like it is made of pure ice. The Everfrost throne. I sent a picture of the king in character references. He is a regal looking satyr. Clearly a man who has seen much combat, for he is wearing armor instead of any fancy robes or anything. He's wearing his paladin armor from the days of when he was a member of the Order of Wrath. He's wearing a crown that is similarly made of the same Everfrost as the throne itself. Standing around him is his family. His wife is seated on a throne beside him, a younger satyr woman, and his two sons stand on the other side of him, as well as a young daughter. So the whole family is here. And of course, all of the Grand Masters of Villion are gathered in the Grand Hall here. They all have a seat lining the room. You are all seated beside your particular Grand Master. And there are a few other members of each of your orders gathered here, mostly as guards or just as watchers, just to keep an eye on things or in case anything happens. There are various guards for each of the orders as well. Most of the Grand Masters that you will see gathered in this Grand Hall are Dragonborn. Dragonborn of all kinds. Red, blue, green, black, white, all kinds of Dragonborn. There's even a few of the rarer classes, some gem and metallic Dragonborn, but not many of those. A few of the Grandmasters gathered around are of some of the other major races of Villion. You see a couple satyrs, especially the ones closer to the king. You see some one or two elves, so on. There's a few races, and a few of the people gathered around who aren't Grandmasters are of various races as well. Tortle, Githyanki, Ganassi, the various races that make up the kingdom. Everyone here seems dressed and prepared for war. They are all expecting that this quest will lead to some grand conflict. As I said, things have been tense in the kingdom for a long time now. And so everyone fully expects that whatever is behind this plague of undead has ill intent for the kingdom and is likely involved with some of the conspiring factions in the kingdom that want to see war. Nobody knows for sure who is behind the undead, but everyone has their own theories. And so, here we are, in the Grand Hall of the Palace of Villion, with the king gathered and all the various Grand Masters seated around, everyone now waiting to hear what the king will say.